computer timer and it tells which one won, you can usually tell which one's going to win. And then they go until they have a champion. So it's taken about an hour for that, so we watched that. It was kind of interesting. And then, like I say, we went out to the Model A's. A lot of beautiful Model A's. Most of them are drivers. People drive them. Then they have the ones that they trailer in that they show. My friend Merlin has 3 Model A's. He has a pickup and a 4-door sedan, and then he has a roadster pickup that he's building right now. He was hoping to have the roadster pickup finished for the show, but he didn't make it. His health's not too good. He's on the kidney dialysis machine and stuff. It's just hard for him to do a lot of work, you know. His Model A is almost finished, the roadster pickup. The other ones are finished. Let me let it drop again. So his 4-door sedan, he shows, and he usually trailers it. I don't think he drives it very far. But then he has this Model A pickup. It's about a 30 Model A pickup, and I think it's 30. Anyway, so it has 16-inch tires and hydraulic brakes, and it has a 2-speed rear and maybe an overdrive transmission, and then he put a different steering gearbox in it. He's told me, but I don't remember what it is. So it drives pretty nice. And you can get it out on the freeway, and you can get it up, 60 miles an hour. Still got the Model A motor in it and everything. Then he has a stake rack on the back, kind of, 3 boards, or 2 or 3 on each side. And then he has kind of a canopy on it. The canopy's made out of, convertible top material, except it's black. The pickup's green, dark green, and black fenders. It's real nice. He's had it for years, and he's driven it all over the United States. So anyway, it's the driver. He doesn't show it because, it's not all stock. It's got a lot of modifications. It's nothing hot rod or anything. It looks stock, but it steers nice, drives nice, stops nice. So anyway. And it's probably got steel beam headlights in it. If you don't have decent headlights, the old headlights and the old Model A's, the candle would almost give out more light. All right, that's enough of that. I should have taken my camera with me and taken pictures, but darn it, it kind of happened quick, and I didn't do that. All right, back to net, 87 through KU. Oh, I guess I wasn't transmitting a picture. I'm sorry, guys. So let's go over to Lee, M7 Casey.
Okay. Well, M7KC Lee here in Port Angeles. By the way, Dave, I don't know whether you got Mario or not, but I noticed on Echo Link, Mario KB6ILO is checked into Echo Link, and I don't have a stream tonight. I have no live stream here, and I don't know whether that's I don't know why, to be honest. I don't think it's my fault. Anyway, well, real good. Anyway, hi Mario, and hi Jim, with the defense dollar timer. Boy, oh boy. And James, good evening to you, and Dave, of course, hi to you, and Ron, I've been chatting with him a little bit. Well, Jim, I have my trusty Radio Shack stopwatch in my hand. I had been using previous to this a darkroom timer that counts down, really nice, a Gray Lab, but it makes radio noise, and not that I'm on the radio presently, but I haven't moved it up to my new location here where the shack is. So I'm using a very quiet stopwatch, makes no noise at all. Anyway, just in case there's a stream, I'll hold up my license plate there. I'll go looking again, but as a rule, it's been 5 minutes or so, before it snaps on. And here we are, 13 minutes into the net, and I don't have it yet, and I've refreshed numerous times. So it may be on the 5th, I don't know. And I can't talk to Mario by chatting unless the damn thing's running. I'm locked out of that here, so anyway. Okay, well, I got my flu shot yesterday, and I'm pretty good shape now. It was about an hour after I got it. My arm got extremely sore, and so did Paula. and then mine bothered me most of the day, and then a little bit this morning, and now it's settled down to where I have to think about it before I know where I got it. So, good thing to get. And shingles too, if you can pick that up. It's hard to get, but guys our age, if you haven't had shingles, go get it. We're waiting for ours here. Okay, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Back to Dave. Right.
Timeout. Dave, KD7CYM. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Been watching a little bit of the Seahawks game tonight. Seahawks 13, LA 3. They're in the second quarter right now with about a minute 53 running. And LA has the ball, so we'll see what happens here. And let's see, 86 ILO, Mario, are you out there?
YB.
K7HYB?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in and out, Dave. I've got a malfunction out here on my computer, and I can't see the output of the repeater. So, and I've got work sitting on my bench that you just done. So, anyway, I'm in and out tonight, Dave. I just wanted to check in and let you know I'm here. K7HYB.
K7HYB, Gary, go ahead. So, again, trying to contact KD6 ILO, Mario, are you out there?
Yes, Dave, KD6 ILO here in Oceanside, California, with some announcements and ATV news for the net. And I'm not sure how much time I have to talk these announcements out, but I can break it up in pieces here.
Connected WU7N. Connected KD6ILO link.
Am I good to go, Dave?
Go ahead, Mario.
I'll go into the group. Dave, Jen, Ron, I guess it's Jeff, and Lee. Lee, you got a nice license plate. Anyway, just some news for the net, and I'll give it a little break here just to reset the repeater. W6ATS, Southern California's largest amateur television network, has expanded to ATV group in Delaware, care of KC3AMD. Their new system will be analog and digital on DVB-T and AM and BSB.
Connected N7KC.
Care of KV4 ATV Worcester, who visited the ATN group for their summer barbecue, and brought them a lot of gifts from the ATN team, so they could start their group down there with some equipment. They're starting off with AM ATV, and they've been linking their systems up together by IP every Tuesday night with the ATN network. And that's the Delaware group, the Panama City group in Florida. Missouri, a new ATN group there, W0ATS, care of Mel Wheaton, K0PFX. He has one of the few first digital ATV repeaters in the country. He was one of the first all-digital systems in the country, and W6SBT, Mike from the W6ATS group, went to Missouri to help them get their situation settled with their repeater, getting their tower situated to the new sensor antenna. And they'll be linking up with the ATN network also. So they'll be typing in Delaware and Panama City and Missouri. And I'm looking to see Mel on there because he's one of my mentors, and I got started with Digital TV. Also in Ohio, the ADCO group, and television for Central Ohio, WRATV. Also, there a half system, there is digital analog system, RW8RNC, is the net control and manager of the network, and they're doing pretty good there. The participation has been coming down a lot because of the weather and other activities in the group, but I've been participating right into this system. One more to go here, kind of reset. The W8ATS, care of Alpha Hotel 2 Alpha Romeo Dave, the W8 Genius in Ohio. They're a half system also, duplex digital and analog system. Their system's been growing and doing pretty well. In fact, they become one of the best pictures that keep coming over the system. But that's pretty much for now. Just let you guys know what's going on here, and I'll wait for the next go around. 7CYM, 86ILO, Oceanside.
86ILO, thank you for the update. It's good to hear that ATV is alive and well across the nation, and it's moving along into digital as well as analog. And the analog is still being carried by a lot of stations. That's great news. Thanks for the update on what's happening in the ATV world. And this is Dave, KD7CYM. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, again, KD7CYM. Well, here in Lake City today, beautiful sunshine out this afternoon. I had a chance to get out to some walking. I got about 2 miles in. And I did some yard work this morning. Had a bush that needed trimming back and filled up a 90-gallon recycle bin with the cuttings from that bush. So quite a bit chopped down. My arm certainly said hello to me, and that was a good time to go for a walk. So I split off and did that after I cleaned up the cuttings off the ground and put them in the hopper, so to speak. So that's been pretty much what's happened here in Lake City. And let's move on to WW7ATS. This is Dave, KD7CYM.
Okay, Mario, thank you very much for all that information. That was quite a bit of information there. Also, I've got an egg timer story for everybody here. I had an egg timer that actually had been given to me as an estate sale, and it was just a little mechanical analog wind-up kind of thing where you set it, like twisted it one day to actually use for this application. It didn't work. I didn't think much of it. But I thought, well, gee, maybe I should just unscrew the screw on the back and take the cover off and see if this is something that could be easily repaired. And, oh my goodness, I don't know how old this thing was. Maybe this was the 80s and 70s and 80s era where the Japanese were copying everything and not paying attention to intellectual property, because I'm assuming it was probably at least 20 years old minimum. But when I took the back off, every part inside of this egg timer literally just exploded in all directions. Like there was the spring inside it. Somehow they put the back on it with this spring loaded up, and then if you try to take the back off, the parts all just fell to pieces and exploded in all directions. So I was picking up little springs and parts and gears all over the floor of my kitchen, actually for quite a while. Anyway, if anybody has a little egg timer and they want to take it apart, you might want to look carefully. And if you do, maybe we should Dremel tool the back off with a little cutting tool and see how they do that, if you've got the same kind or not. I threw all the parts away, so I can't show you what the front looks like. Something else I want to kind of show everybody tonight that I thought might be of interest. That's this right here. These batteries are the freebie batteries that you get from Harbor Freight when you buy just about anything. You can see that I bought these, perhaps on the picture there, the brand name Thunderbolt. They don't use zinc carbon. I don't know what these things are, but I think it's zinc chloride is what these batteries use. You can see this is 2014. So these are 5 years old, but essentially sealed up. And if you look right under my finger, right there, you can see that just sitting on the shelf in pretty much an air-sealed environment, one of the batteries has already started to corrode. So this is kind of interest to me. I think 1990s was the apex of U.S. Dry cell battery manufacturing technology, because I've got batteries from the 90s that are still going strong, that have been stored that long and actually been used in devices. But I had a Simpson meter ruined by the batteries leaking all over the inside of it, so I'm really cautious about leaving batteries in anything anymore. But I just thought that might be of interest to everybody here. So one other thing I wanted to show, because I've been hearing about problems with streaming tonight, I'm actually getting a streaming picture. There is Echo Link Bang, so it's about a 3 or 4 second delay. And that's what I'm getting on my computer tonight. And as you can see, you get that accordion effect as the picture within a picture with about a 3 second delay happens. So anyway, I just thought I'd pass that along so that if anybody wants to reset, retry, or reload, they can do so. This is James, WW7N. Let me pass it back on to Dave on net control tonight. Dave, take it away.
WU7N, James, we got that. This is Dave, KD7ZYN. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Let's move on to N720, Jim.
Thank you, Dave. N7QO. Well, thanks for that information, Jim. And when you come back on, I saw at the end of your transmission, it looked like something in a crib, but that was not on the screen long enough for me to discern what it was. If you could hold it up a while longer next go around, I would appreciate that. Let's see. The streaming began working for me as well at approximately 16 or 17 past the hour. So Lee, it should probably start working okay for you now. We did see all of your video, Lee, right from the beginning. So you may have been in the dark, but at least we saw your smiling face. So that's good. Mario, thank you for that information. I wasn't writing fast enough. If you would, when it's your go-around, please remind us when the net is held again, and maybe we can look up the URL. Just Google W6ATN. It might even say on there. Let's see, what else? Model A meet. Yeah, well, I have a neighbor or two that went to that as well. There are several people here in my neighborhood who are avid old car enthusiasts. I'm just truly amazed at some of the older vehicles around here. Some of them are more recent, like in the 60s or so, but the fellow next door to me actually has a Model A and also something else. I'm not sure what it is, but it's in a similar vintage as the Model A. Let me reset. I gave my egg timer a severe shaking, and it appears to be functioning again. So I guess I don't need to spend another $1. By the way, at the dollar store, these were located, believe it or not, in office supplies. I don't know why an egg timer would be in office supplies. I'm sure there's some logical reason for that, but it escapes me. Ron, you have been very diligent at reporting the progress of that woman on the sailboat. I forgot to check on that. I wrote it down here in the shack. Unfortunately, when I go from the shack to the house, I frequently forget to take notes with me. Ron, if you or someone else has some information on that, I would appreciate hearing that. And let's see. Gary, I know you're just in and out, but you're probably listening over there. Good evening to you. Haven't heard you for a while. Good to hear you. KD7ZYM and 7QO.
N7QO. Let's go to KD7QKU. Ron.
Okay. Well, Jim, I guess maybe you had an hourglass egg timer. That's what I used to use, a little hourglass. I don't even know where it came from, but it was in the house here, and I got it. And sometimes it doesn't work. You got to, like you said, maybe you have to shake it up, get it going. And I guess hi to Mario. Thank you, Mario, for talking about all those ATV groups. My goodness, a lot of them, and they're all getting hooked up together. That's nice. I guess we've sort of lost some enthusiasm here. Our group is barely hanging together. But anyway, and yeah, Jim, I guess I'm sort of surprised that you have a bunch of Model A people out there. I guess they like airplanes and Model A. So I guess that's good. And that lady's name was Jean Socrates. And you just go Jean Socrates blog and, on Google, and you'll find her. She's still out there. There's a high-pressure front developing, and the wind had really slowed down. She was only going a mile or two an hour, and she was trying to skirt around it. So she couldn't go directly towards the Strait of Juan de Fuca. She has to go, I think she's about off of the Columbia River if you were to go out. But she's about 800 and some miles out of the Strait of Juan de Fuca, but she's going to take her longer than she was hoping for because of this high pressure that's building in, and she's losing the wind, and she's trying to skirt around it, so she has to go more of a westerly direction and a more of a northerly direction, and I don't know, eventually she will hopefully catch the wind and be able to head straight for the Strait of Juan de Fuca, but at last report she had only made 60-some miles or something that day, and then she's still about 800 or 900 miles out. She was running out of cereal for breakfast. She said she was going to run out of cereal, but she still has pancake batter and a lot of other stuff to eat. And she said, sounds like she's pretty well supplied. But she saw it, notes that an albatross or something. She was really encouraged by that. She hadn't seen one for a long time. I think she called it a black-footed albatross or something. And she talked about that the other day. So now the lady keeps her spirits up. She's been out there 328 days sailing around the world. For Mario's information, she's a 76-year-old woman that came out of Canada, Victoria, and she's going to return to Victoria. She's almost there. She's just on her last leg. Anyway, that's all I know, Jim. So let's go over to Lee, N7.
Okay, N7KC. Oh dear, something has happened here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and talk anyway. Yeah, I'm going to hold my license plate up here just to ID, but the video, I've got a stream now, but the video is pretty sketchy at the moment. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that gal, Jean Socrates, that's an amazing story, really. And she's quite a good sailor. And, you know, she gets on 40 meters, 7155, I think, is her operating frequency. So, you might be able to pick her up on 40 meters if you listen around there. she's just got one time of the day in the evening or something that she tries to make connection with some ham buddies. She's got a call, but I can't remember what it is. I looked her up. Gary, good evening to you. I didn't mention you. Well, you weren't there when I first came on, so good to hear you tonight. Jim, you've got a pretty good video tonight. Definitely much better than normal, so I can, no issue at all telling who it is and what you're doing. So good on you. Don't know what's going on. The stream is all, at my place, is all pixelated right now, but that seems to be kind of the way it goes. I'm trying to refresh it here just to see if that will help. Nope, it did not. But it has a hard time recovering from when the codec gets a relatively noisy signal. Jim has got some noise on him, even though you can tell who it is and all. And the codec has to work really hard to service that noise, you know. There's no common stuff to compress and make it an easier task for it to encode the video. So you just have to put up with it. It has generally recovered, so that's the good news. Okay, I'm at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I think. And now I'm starting to hear myself again through Ron's system. Okay, well that's it from here. I do have a neighbor across the circle that's got a Model A. It belongs to his dad. He's really nice. So anyway, this is N7KC in Port Angeles. Lee here. Back to Dave.
N7KC, this is Dave, KD7CYM. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Boy, when it comes to Model A, it takes me back to my childhood when I was in grade school learning to drive. Well, actually, I was in high school, I was a sophomore. And learning to drive, went out with my dad, which we had one in the family, the model. And it was kind of interesting. We got about 6 blocks from home. My dad bailed out of the car and he says, okay, take it home now. And I wasn't too sure about the clutch mechanism, but I made it, and that was the beginning of my solo driving career way back when, in about 58, I might say. So it was kind of fun hearing about Model A's. Anyway, with that, let's go to Mario, KD6ILO. Is Mario still with us?
Yeah, KD6ILO. Yeah, just information on the W6ATN net. It held every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. in the evening. 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday. And they do link up the rest of their networks from Arizona and Las Vegas and also Northern California with the W6CX Mount Diablo repeater group up there in Northern California. And it's a really good net. And they're going full high definition. They're going 6 megahertz bandwidth, and it should be going on now, but they have a YouTube feed just like you guys. It's on now. It's on 24/7. It's beacon is on. You know, there's transmission. If somebody comes on and transmits, I can reset. Net control for Tuesdays is KC7JPG Roland, and he does a very good job getting everybody together on there. Again, the Delaware group system is up, but they're not linked yet. W0ATN in Missouri is operational, but they're not linked yet. Panama City is operational, but not linked. Reset. Also, the Ohio group, W8BI, not BTBI, their nets are every Wednesday, but they start our time about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific time. And they're a very good net also. It's on Wednesday night. And their control is Ruben, W8TUC, and also Dave, Alpha Hotel to Alpha Romeo. My exploit today was playing with my repeater system here, working on the matrix controller. I have two inputs on digital. One on 22 centimeters DVB-S2, which is the second generation system, which I'm testing with the same transmission type you use in Europe for the satellite system, or DVB-T. Two outputs, also DVB-T and animators. So we do full duplex, what you see today. It worked out really well, especially syncing and the audio mixing, and it came out pretty well. Catching at control, KD6ILO.
KD6ILO. Mario, glad to hear from you again. Anybody have any questions for Mario before we move up to James, WU7N?
Yeah, this is WU7N. Question for Mario. For the digital, high-def digital TV, are people building their own equipment, or are they purchasing equipment? And if so, I'm just curious to know where are they just completely starting with bare naked copper breadboard, or are they getting other plans, other places, designing it themselves? I'm just curious to know where the HD TV equipment is coming from.
Yeah, affirmative. The majority plug-and-play, consumer off-the-shelf items are coming from Taiwan via Hi-Vis, Hotel India, Delta Echo Sierra. And they're selling through eBay. You can look for Hi-Vis on the internet, just Google them. For me, my stuff is coming from the UK. I pretty much put everything together myself using the Lime SDR module and the PA. The PAs are something else. They're really nice. Really wide band. Works pretty well. I put my stuff together myself with the help with Mel, PSDX. UK, the receivers, the meeting tuners. The Diablo group puts their own systems together using Raspberry Pi as part of their system. It's the meeting tuners as receivers. So my best bet for you guys, if you guys get one set, is go with Hi-Vis. They have the receivers, they have the modulators from 30 centimeters, 23, and 70 centimeters. If you want PAs, I would go with K6 TV. Jim Andrews from Colorado. He builds PAs for digital TV.
Thank you very much. That's a lot of information. Excellent. Thank you.
Yes. Just to confirm too, Jim does also build DATV equipment here in Colorado. K6 HTV. Jim Andrews. He's on the internet, so you can Google him, and he has a K6TV video. That's the name of his store. And he builds everything from scratch, pretty much. Acting at control.
Okay, thanks for that information, Mario. Anybody else have questions for Mario? Hearing none, let's go up to James, WU7N.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mario. We so appreciate you joining our net tonight with the information and the pointers. Really appreciate that. And Jim, to answer your question, I think this artwork is Gary Larson. I'm not sure, or maybe it's someone of that same genre. But it looks like to me like a boa constrictor is trapped in a crib because it ate something, and now it can't get out through the bars because it's overweight. And it just lets your imagination what it is that it consumes. So anyway, I guess Gary Larson is, and that kind of Gahan Wilson artwork is an acquired taste maybe. Certainly, and Ron, you made me smile with your sand egg timer. I was reading a book a while back on the history of navigation, and the holy grail in the history of navigation was, of course, time, because that could give you longitude. And latitude was pretty easy to figure out from the stars, particularly the North Star and the Southern Cross. But trying to figure out where you were east and west, because that's the way the Earth rotates, was always a struggled because they had to have accurate time. And I guess there were sailing ships that tried to use sand hourglasses because you couldn't use a pendulum clock on a rolling ship. That wouldn't work. But they hired, I guess they took on boys or young men, and their sole job was to turn the hourglass over and put a mark down every time. And of course, if you fell asleep or something, I imagine there was some gruesome punishment for you. But I can't imagine that would work all that well across 3 shifts, judging from my personal experience managing people on night shifts. But anyway, it was cute. Here's something else talking about strange inventions. You wonder who thought of this. This right here kind of looks like a cell phone with a little 45-degree plastic fold-out gizmo on the back that pulls out, right? Well, what this is, you set this down, and this rubber pad on the top keeps your cell phone from slipping off. It's not real sticky, but it's just got enough coefficient of friction to keep the cell phone from sliding off. And so you set this down on your desk, and the cell phone sits at a 45-degree angle, which is kind of convenient as opposed to having it sit flat. And inside, they've got some sticky notes. And so inside the device there's sticky notes, and then on the outside it holds your cell phone, and of course it's got a company name of a friend of mine who runs a networking company on the bottom. So that's kind of an interesting, who thought of this idea. So anyway, that's it for me. I see it's 45 till, so let me turn it back to Dave, Net Control. This is WW7N with Uniform 7 November.
WW7N, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's move on down to N7QO. Jim.
N7QO. Well, that cell phone holder looks interesting. I have something similar to that, but it doesn't work very well. The material on the surface which supports the cell phone is good, but the bottom leg does not have any sort of anti-skid material on it. I keep meaning to glue something onto it to make it work, but it doesn't quite work well. Yours looks like a superior product, plus with the post-it notes inside, that's pretty useful. Jim, thank you for the clarification on that crib. I looked at that, and my initial thought was that is some sort of dinosaur. But after you explained that, I could see, yeah, that's a snake with maybe a former occupant of the crib inside the snake. So, oh well, that's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Mario, thank you for the information. And Ron, you were saying how Jean is running out of cereal. Oh my goodness, I hope that's not too bad for her. If my wife ran out of cereal, that would be the end of the trip. She'd have to break the seals, fire up the motor, and make a beeline for the nearest grocery store. I guess some people just have to have cereal for breakfast. Me, I can have anything. Steak and eggs, hold the eggs, cold pizza, whatever. I'm pretty food friendly, I guess. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO. Let's go on to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7ZYM in the group. This is KD7QKU. Well, that's what I thought that cartoon was. I see a teddy bear in a corner, and I see, looks like a crib, and then there's a bottle in outside. And that snake has a big lump, so yeah, I assume that's the occupant of the crib that's in there. And I guess down in Florida they have those Are they bull constrictors or something? They have them all over down there. Now, I don't know. Snakes kind of give me the willies. Let's see. I'm going to say something, but now I completely slipped my mind. Yeah, it's been kind of fun following the lady. She said she had a lot of other things to eat for breakfast. I myself, Jim, have scrambled egg beaters just about every morning, made into with onions and peppers and stuff in them. They're pretty good. Put a little salt and pepper on them. Sometimes my wife puts something else in them. Spinach. Not my favorite, but it gets in there sometimes. Kind of whatever's left over, she sort of throws in my egg beater omelet in the morning. And then I usually have a piece of toast. We have kind of a simple breakfast. We had bagels. When my son and daughter-in-law was here, Joanna had gotten some bagels, and she got some strawberry cream cheese. Oh man, the bagel and strawberry cream cheese was pretty good. I see, and I had, we ran out. There was only one or two left, and then she cut them in half, of course, and put them in the toaster, so they were nice. So I said, man, those are good. So I think I saw another package out the kitchen, so when she was at the grocery store, I think she picked up another package, so maybe we'll have bagels. On Saturdays, we usually have pancakes and eggs and sausage. That's what we have this time. We have something on Saturday mornings. Once in a while on Sunday, but always on Saturday. We kind of splurge, eat healthy all week, and then have junk food kind of on the weekend. Well, we're kind of getting down here on time. I guess I need to go over to Lee. M7KC, you're up.
Okay. M7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Well, listen, Jerry Larson, and the Far Side cartoons. I have got hundreds of them here. I've saved them over the years. We used to get the tear-off calendars every day, and then I've got the books he published of his stuff and all that. He's just got a wonderfully twisted mind, and the cleverest darn things he would come up with. Anyway, I like Gary Larson a lot, and that's the video on the stream, James, is just superior. It's really nice. The Kodak is still, the stream system, and probably the Kodak has not recovered yet. It's still gimping around, and it's not smooth video. It's, I don't know what it's doing. But anyway, it's not recovering the way it should. Let's see. Well, at 7 o'clock tonight, I was in the net control station for the West Coast net, and I got through that. It was my 7th time doing it, and so I settled down now to where I'm pretty comfortable, but I had my first QTC, or my first message tonight, so that went okay. It's about time, by the time it gets around to me, the net will be over, so I'm going to say 7-3. It's nice to hear Mario and see him on. And listen, Mario reports the W6 Alpha Tango November, and Mario's call Kilo Delta 6 India Lima Oscar are also on YouTube, I believe, 24/7. So if you just pop those in the search box, you should get something interesting on both of those calls. So I encourage you to do it. Anyway, 7-3 guys, a fun net as always. Always enjoy them. And I look forward to the next one. So, back to you, Dave, in 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles.
M7KC, this is KD7ZYN, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net affiliate machine. Well, it was very interesting conversation finding out there's a lot of activity on ATV working across the U.S. at this time. Contrary to, we thought we were dying out here in Seattle, but it looks like our brethren ham operators have patched together some pretty good networks that are occurring. Well, when I was looking at James WW7N picture of the snake in the crib, it reminded me of a story I covered back in the early 70s in Como TV. Up on Queen Anne, somebody had lost a boa constrictor, and the search went on, almost for a week and a half. People would spot the snake every so often. It was about 8 feet long, and then it would disappear again, crawl under something, and just manage to do what the snakes do. But as they found it, it had this lump in the center, and this one woman was looking for her miniature poodle dog. And there never was an outcome. We found they killed the snake or whatever happened, but the woman's poodle dog never materialized. And the snake went back to its handler, and they finally corralled it. That was kind of interesting. And if you're watching the football game, Seattle 16, LA 3, in the third period, 9 minutes and 21 minutes in. So that's how the game is progressing there. So let's go over to Mario for one final comment. KD6 ILO.
W6ATN, their stream is up 24/7. W8BI is not on 24/7. They're like you, just schedule it on Wednesday nights. And mine also is scheduled. I'm not running it 24/7, but I do use it. Thanks again. I appreciate being here, and I'll pass in more information. I just wanted to let you guys know, you guys were my mentors too in the past when I was operating in Washington. Glad you guys are still there. Thank you, 73.
Well, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to join our net here in Seattle. Mario, KD6 ILO. Is there anything from anyone before we wrap up the net this evening? Hearing none, we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine, the CTAC repeater group, for allowing us to use it for our voice communications for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net that's held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock Pacific time. So with that, we'll sign off the net. On behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Good evening at 2056. Good evening all.
KD6ILO link disconnected. WW7N disconnected. WW7KC disconnected.